Hey everyone, welcome to Steph and Key TV. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and please let me know what you thought of today's video. All right, Atlanta, let's get into it. So we open with each of the ladies. Candy and Ace are working on his letters, and we see Baby Blaze. Oh, I love that baby. And then we move on to Portia. She's telling her mom and her sister Lauren about the bachelorette party, how that was the highlight. Portia's mom talks about how she threw a bachelorette party for, I guess, Portia's aunt or something. And Lauren's mom was there, and the dad was like, nah, because he didn't want he didn't want her around any strippers, and it seemed like he didn't want Portia's mom around any strippers either. So then we move over to Drew and that husband of hers, and she's practicing her notes, and he throws a little shade by calling her singing flat. I mean, it was a little flat. I'm not a singer, but it did sound just a little bit Drew, just a little. So then we head over to Cynthia's. Drew calls Cynthia. I guess Drew is going to be singing at Cynthia's wedding, and she throws out some song ideas, and Cynthia's like talking to Mike. Hey, do you like that song "Angel of Mine" by Monica? And he's like, yeah, when Monica sings it. It's like shade. Everybody's like tossing shade already. Like we just started this episode. So I guess Drew's going to be singing that at Cynthia's wedding. Cynthia's in a panic because there's only a few days left until the wedding. And Cynthia's mom's dress is not showing up until after the wedding. So she has to take her mom to find a new dress. I'm just like, girl, this is what happens when you try to have a wedding in the middle of a pandemic. I still don't understand it. I really wish she had just gone and got married, a little justice of the peace. With your mask on, get married, take some cute pictures afterwards, and then just have the big wedding like in a year or two when things have calmed down, people got their vaccines, girl, like, but this is what pandemic weddings are gonna be like, so should have waited. Kenya gets on the phone with her dad, and they're just talking about the Mark situation. I need for her to get as far away from this man, like it's never ending with this man. So she tells her father about Mark filing for divorce, and I guess he texted her and let her know that he was filing for divorce in retaliation of her filing for the custody suit. And it's just like, he's so petty and disgusting. He's gross. Just get away from him. Like her dad is like, I don't know anything about him. All I've seen is stuff on the TV stuff between you two. And because Kenya ran off and got married to this man and let him control her life and didn't have her friends and family to, like her dad said, sit and observe him and see if this was a good guy, he was able to like get in there and manipulate and have control over her. And it's just like he has this hold on her now. And I think her dad did give the best advice he could. He gave like some advice that I try to stick to. He's like, because she asked him, how did you make it work with your wife for 39 years? And he said, communication, so important. He's like, we genuinely like each other. And I feel like that's very important. I mean, if you're going to be married to this person forever and ever, you need to like them. Because, I mean, not all the time. There's going to be times when you guys don't get along and you're not going to like them. But like, as a person, you need to like this person and want to be around them. And he said, like, we don't hold animosity towards each other. And Mark has animosity towards you. And he really does. He's like, if you want to work it out, you guys need to work it out together, like with some therapy. Because she talked about getting herself some therapy, which is great. She does need to. But if you want to work it out, you both need therapy, he said. Or go your separate ways and figure that out. And I think he gave her some really sound advice. I don't know if she's going to listen to it because she just keeps going back and forth with this man. And he's a monster and he's a mess. And she needs to get away from him, sever the ties. Hopefully he doesn't get alimony and she gets full custody. He sees Brooklyn when he needs to, and that's it. Just work on yourself and find what makes you happy, Kenya, because this is a mess. So now with Drew and Kenya, they decided to meet and have a dinner and drinks and kind of squash this beef. Drew, in her confessional, says the tension in this group is as thick as Bolo's thighs. You notice how she always brings it back to Bolo? She don't be talking about Ralph like that, like ever. So Kenya just explains to Drew, like, I felt like you were attacking me at that dinner when we were at Cynthia's bachelorette party thing. And she said, like, I thought we were fine, and then all of a sudden we sit down and you want to play this who's fake and who's a realist game, and then you go Kenya. And I, okay, so I usually feel like Kenya is pretty sneaky and devious, and this is a character that she plays on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I have to agree with her. I felt like who plays a game like that? And then it wasn't even a game. She just said that so that she could bring up Kenya and talk about how fake she was being. And I'm on Kenya's side with this one. I liked Drew at the beginning, except for that husband of hers. I did not like him. I liked Drew. Now I don't know if I'm really feeling Drew. I'm more on Kenya's side, and I felt like she was being shady, and now she's trying to bring up the conversation about Kenya, talking about the private jet, but then telling her not to tell anyone. And I was like, yeah, but that was like weeks ago, episodes ago. You're still hanging on to that as Kenya being fake. Yes, Kenya was being shady and messy, but you called her out at your dinner and then it was squashed. Everybody got mad at her and ripped her to shreds once they got there. So I thought we had moved past that, and you're like still bringing it up. Like, what's the deal, Drew? I don't like her anymore. Her and that husband need to go. Oh my gosh, Drew. Just now she's bringing up the kid thing. Like, oh, if I couldn't bring my kid, or if I could bring my kid, why couldn't you have just given me a heads up? And it's like, we're talking about old stuff. So her and Kenya are going back and forth. They're not letting each other speak. Both of them are just talking over each other. So then Drew starts singing. She's like, why aren't you letting me talk? And then Kenya starts singing back. What's wrong? What's wrong with them? And so Kenya is like frying Drew in her confessional about the singing. It was so weird. It was funny, but it was weird. So then they just keep going at each other. So then Kenya's just like, okay, can we just get the check, please? And then the waitress comes over and Kenya hands her card, and then Drew's like, no, we could split it. And then Kenya's like, what? No, we're not splitting it. And she's like, no, it's fine. I split checks with my friends. So then in Kenya's confessional, she's throwing shade again. She's like, broke bitches split checks. I'm not trying to calculate how much tax I have to pay. This was such a funny dinner. A mess. At least they're taking the food to go, because I would not be wasting my food after arguing with somebody. I need some food to like relieve the stress. So of course, the shady editors at Bravo have to calculate everybody's total. So Kenya with tax paid $31.20 and Drew with tax paid $21.84. Thank you, Bravo. Thank you for letting us know. So Cynthia is riding with her sister. I think they're on the way to look at Cynthia's friend's shop so they can get her mom a new dress for the wedding. Her wedding is falling apart. The mom's dress is not here. She lost 2 bridesmaids, a groomsman. Mike's ring got flown over. It doesn't fit. Noelle's dress doesn't fit. There's a possible hurricane coming. Shall I go on? And now there's an article that dropped on page 6 about Cynthia's bachelorette party, and supposedly 2 people slept with the stripper. And this is in the article. So, like, Cynthia's wedding is like the gift that keeps on giving. All the ladies are meeting up, except for Cynthia, at a pumpkin patch for a hayride that Marlo's hosting. This is so random. But Candy gets there and tells Marlo about the page 6 article. Kenya gets there and they're still talking about it. In Kenya's confessional, the producer asks, who does Kenya think leaked the article? And she feels like it's someone who told someone, and then that person leaked it. But when she gets there, she does say, like, that's Marlo's friends, page 6. So it could have been any of them. I don't know, because they were all running their mouth. They were all running their mouths. They really were. Even Candy, who's like, who leaked it? And like, don't be saying stuff about me. Girl, you were running your mouth to Don Juan. So like, all of y'all were running your mouths. So it could have been anybody. Like, it really could. Like, I really feel like if you told me it was either one of them, any of them, I would believe you, because they all are like messy. So Shamia and Toya show up. They all sit down, they're eating. And then Toya's like, well, Toya feels like Kenya leaked in. High possibility. But Toya also tells the ladies that Tanya has fled the country. Tanya went back to Canada. And they're making fun of her about fleeing the scene of the crime. But Marlo says, like, Tanya did say at the table that she stayed up until 5 and went into Portia's room at 6 and they had snacks. So it's like, girl, telling on yourself. So Drew shows up, and I like this wig that she has on. I think it's cute. LaToya didn't say anything shady about it, so must be good. Must be a good one. But they call Cynthia to see how she's doing. They ask her about her prenup. She says she's gonna wait and just get a postnup. Everybody's like, Candy's like, that's no good. Candy's like, do you see what Kenya's going through right now without a prenup? And even Kenya in her confessional is like, I didn't get it. I tell everybody to get a prenup, but I didn't get one. You see what I'm going through? And she's like, if Cynthia doesn't want to get a prenup after dealing with Peter, then I don't know what to tell her. And I was like, shade. Yeah, Cynthia, what are you doing? Especially, like Kenya said, even though it was shady, after dealing with Peter, like, why wouldn't you get a prenup and just protect yourself? Because you don't know what's going to happen and when you're going to have time to do a postnup. Girl, good luck. So then the ladies move on to some little fun activities. They get on the hay ride. They call Portia because she's late. Apparently, Portia's GPS took her like an hour and 14 minutes out of the way. So they're just like, okay, well, we'll see you when you get here. And they are moving on. They don't feel like waiting for her. Drew and Toya were throwing some light shade before they got on the hayride. They were just going at each other. And then Drew said, I don't think I've ever seen you sober. And Toya was like, I don't think I've ever seen you have a cute wig. So, but it didn't become a big thing. A little light shade. They get on the hayride. And then everybody starts asking about the dinner between Kenya and Drew. They felt like they just weren't getting on one accord. Kenya says, like, you ladies feel like she would, like, pretty much attacked me at the other dinner. And Drew was like, I don't think anybody else feels like that except for you. And then Candy was like, well, it did kind of come off like that. And then Toya agrees. So then Kenya's like, see, so you all agree that she came after me. And so then they are talking about the dinner and how she's like, I walked up and Drew's doing, like, acting voice lesson things. And Drew was like, well, I'm about to sing for Cynthia's wedding. So then Drew's like, Candy, don't you do voice warm-ups and stuff? And Candy's like, not at the dinner tables. So Drew's not getting anywhere. She's on an island by herself right now. So I guess the hayride was done. They didn't seem like they were on it for very long. And then they get off. Everybody's leaving. It's just Candy, Drew, what's her name? Marlo and Shamia left. And so Drew is like, is Kenya always like this? Marlo's like, yeah, sometimes. And she starts trying to chime in. And Candy's like, wait a minute, don't you start going in on her. You two just made up. And Marlo's like, well, I'm not going after her, but, like, I'm going to keep it real. So then Candy's like, I'm out of here. She leaves. And so then it's just Marlo, Drew, and Shamia, and they're like waiting for Portia to come. Lord, it gets dark. I would have been gone. Sorry, Portia. I ain't waiting for you. I am not waiting for you. Portia finally gets there, and they're talking about, like, the page 6 article thing. Portia feels like it's Kenya. Drew feels like it's Kenya. Marlo is paranoid now because she doesn't want Portia to ostracize her from the group, I guess, because she's, like, talking to Kenya now. So she tries to downplay her making up with Kenya. And it's like, girl, calm down. You can be friends with everybody. Nobody's gonna kick you out of the group just because you're friends being friendly with Kenya now. Like, girl, relax. And I feel like she's so worried about, because she doesn't have Nene there anymore to make sure that she's always on the show. I feel like she's relying heavily on Portia now and feels like if she doesn't have Portia on her side, Kenya's not going to be enough to keep her on the show. And it's just causing Marlo to be super paranoid. And she looks kind of like, I don't know, like she's trying to beg to be a part of like the group, and it's a little weird. And I'm like, girl, like, you're not going anywhere. You've been on the show forever. Calm down. So Cynthia is still trying to plan out the rest of her wedding. Who was it? Candy and Toya, Todd, and Don Juan are at Candy and Todd's new restaurant, Blaze, named after baby Blaze. I believe this is their new restaurant, because why else would it be called Blaze? But they're talking about the whole like page 6 fiasco. Todd's like, please don't throw any more bachelorette parties. He's like, you're not allowed to. And then Candy and Toya start talking about Kenya's mess with Mark. At one point, Toya acted like she was surprised by something that Candy said, and then she tried to act like she knew about the whole Mark wanting alimony and stuff. So I don't know if they were being messy, if they both knew. It was weird. But I don't know. I don't know if... But Candy says, like, Kenya doesn't want the rest of the group to know, so it is what it is. But it seemed like maybe they shouldn't have been talking about it, because the way they, like, Toya was acting surprised, and then, oh no, I knew. It was like, girl, you didn't know. Kenya didn't tell you, but you trying to act like, oh, we're so close that I knew everything that you just said, and she didn't. So Drew and... Why do I always forget these girls' names? Drew and Portia and Shami are hanging out. Drew seemed like she's trying to be nice, saying like Kenya's just seems sad, and maybe she's trying to connect and she just doesn't know how. And Portia's like, I'm never gonna connect with Kenya. She's like, never. And then they start singing and dancing. So they're just not gonna be friends. Like, they tried last season, it didn't work out. I blame Portia for that, because as soon as Nene came, Portia was like, bye Kenya. This season, though, I feel like Kenya has been coming for Portia, and Portia's just been like, no, like paying her dust, and now I feel like she's actually participating in the mess, so I don't think they're ever gonna be friends. But can I just say, Portia and Kenya, I know they're not getting along, but those confessionals, like Kenya in the green and Portia with the short hair, stunning. They look gorgeous. So Kenya is in therapy, and she's just discussing like her relationship with Mark, her past relationships, how her relationship with her mother has affected her relationships with her partners, and just being abandoned by her mother and just being treated cruelly by this woman she called mom who didn't want her. Just how it's affected her going into these emotionally unavailable relationships and just trying to grow from it, move past it. And I really hope she stays in therapy. She really, really needs it. Everyone needs therapy, but I hope she stays in therapy, because I really feel like it'll help her to understand and really see the toxicity with Mark and just get him out of her life. He needs to be gone, and she needs to really look at her struggles and look at what she really wants and work towards being like better for herself and for her daughter, and focus on that. And then I feel like she'll begin to be ready to find a new partner, a much better partner. Girl, much better. And I hope that she is able to, because I know Kenya is a villain on this show, but I don't want her to be miserable, not with this horrible man. I feel like they all deserve love and to be happy and messy on the show, but like still have some happiness outside of the show. So I really hope that for her, and I hope she stays in therapy. And we still got more episodes to come. But that wraps it up for this episode. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and hit that notification bell so you're in the know when I release a new video, and subscribe. I would love to have you a part of Steph and Key TV. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.